Hey guys, good morning. I know, it's gone. I'm sorry. About 5 or 6 months ago, I have to look at my notes. I replaced this roof AC for this owner of this 2005 Travel Supreme. So we did that in the middle of summer because it kept tripping the breakers. He called me about a month ago saying that it's making a weird rattling noise. And unfortunately, I've just been so backlogged that I haven't been able to get back to it. So initially I was concerned that maybe I didn't install it correctly. So I took it apart, made sure everything was tight. I didn't do anything wrong because I'm always going to blame myself first. It definitely does have a sound. I don't want to run it right now. You wouldn't be able to hear me, but we'll get on the roof and we'll see what's going on. I suspect it's not my fault. I suspect it's Dometic's fault. And I suspect I'm going to do some free work today. Alright, so you guys should be able to hear that horrible noise. That's the fan rubbing on this plastic here. So, let me take this apart. It looks like it's rubbing right there. What do you think? Right about there? What do you guys think? Does that look well balanced to you? A little bit off-centered? Yeah, that's how life is, isn't it? Alright, so with that turned off, maybe you guys can hear me a little bit better now. So this fan blower wheel, or squirrel cage, is rubbing on the inside of the that housing right there. It's very frustrating because, I mean, you can see there's a little bit of slack where I could bring this back. I can't go forward with it anymore, but it wouldn't really matter because that motor is tied into that mount right there, so I can't really move the motor. All I can really do is move this fan blower wheel forward maybe 1/8 of an inch, but you can see how wobbly that squirrel cage is. And of course, the customer paid a great deal of money for this AC, like a crazy amount, because it's a heat pump. So it's brand new, it's under a warranty. So theoretically, Dometic should be paying for this repair, but they're not going to pay me to move this this fan, this blower wheel a little bit. I could charge my customer, but that doesn't make any sense. They didn't do anything wrong. So this is just going to be one of those things that I get to eat all this time and effort, just try to make my customer happy, because again, they spent a lot of money to get an AC installed. It was installed. I ran it. I tested it. It wasn't making the noise at the time. So either that plastic cover warped a little bit, or the blower wheel just has too much flex in it, or it just loosened up. So I don't know how I really fix this, because I didn't design it. All I can do is try to move this blower wheel forward a little bit. What I have done is that on not Penguins, this is a Penguin AC, sorry about that, Penguin heat pump. On Brisk Airs, they actually have in order to save weight and be cheap, they use styrofoam for this entire housing right here. So this would be styrofoam, it'd just be black styrofoam. And those rub too. So a lot of times you actually have to get a razor blade and shave a lot of the styrofoam out. So I could try to get a grinding wheel, and I could ease this edge a little bit too to give me a little bit more clearance. But again, in a perfect world, Dometic would be paying for this. But warranties really only cover component failure. So if the motor was bad, definitely they'd cover that without a problem. The compressor went bad, or the AC had to be replaced, the warranty would cover that, and we would charge that. But on something that's going to be an adjustment, warranty's not going to cover that. Even if I went through all the hassle of getting authorized, submit the warranty claim on it, and submit it, and even if they go ahead and pay it, it's going to take 30 days from the time they get it for them to say, okay, we're going to pay you now. And all that work, because it's going to take about 30 minutes to do all the paperwork, then submit it, then wait for 30 days to get $10. That's probably what they pay me. Right there, Chad?
Yeah.
It's just not fun doing warranty repair, is it?
Negative.
And they make it very difficult. They really don't want to pay. It's not a fun experience. So customer shouldn't pay for it. Factory built it wrong, but because I installed it, I'm responsible for it. So let's get it fixed. Well, in hindsight, it looks like my original assessment was wrong. It's not too far too far back. It's too far forward. So that's the front. I get turned around upside down sometimes, so all I have to do is move this back some, and that's where I said there's ample room to move it back. So let me just get a T-handle here. Well, by all accounts, it helps if you use the right one. So that's 3mm. Just have to loosen that up, and if I take a look at it, pretty much flush with the hub's pretty much flush with that shaft, so I can use that as a gauge. Probably move that a little too much, don't you think? So there's a flat spot. There's a flat spot. I'll make sure the screw is setting on to accept that, and I just have to move it a little bit. Okay, so I moved it about 1/8 of an inch. Man, it's a lot of wobble to it, huh? This must be those high grade, well balanced ones. So I maybe didn't explain this very well. This is the blower motor. On these Penguins, they use the same motor for the inside blowers. This is what blows air on the inside. It draws air from the little grill that you would see down there in the ceiling, across the coil, and back down, and goes through, back down into there, back to the plenum to the inside. On the outside blower right there, it's going to draw air across the condenser coils right here, and then exhaust it out, usually out those vents right there. But that's how they get away with one motor doing the work of two. Your newer ACs that are really efficient and light will have 2 motors now, an outside blower motor and an inside blower motor. That way they can, I guess, use a properly sized motor for both functions rather than one very big motor. What I did notice is that that motor mount right there seems a little loose, so it looks like I get to tighten that up too. So it's just a well nut, a little rubber guy that expands out. Let's see if we can tighten that up a little bit, or a lot bit. Might as well check that one now. Well, seems a lot better. Let's put this back together. Okay, so we'll do one final spin. Seems to be spinning okay. Let's put this cover back on. Okay, let me spin it. I don't hear it rubbing. Let me go ahead and turn the fan back on and make sure it's not rubbing. Zone 1 fan high. Here we are. Well, it's definitely a lot quieter. We'll go upstairs. Well, it's not noisy anymore. Well, I mean, it's noisy, but it's not rubbing anymore. I think we got it. Let's go ahead and turn this off and clean it all up. Okay. So that tested out well. Got my high-tech styrofoam insulator right there. I'll put my AC shroud back on. So there it was, fixing a brand new Dometic Penguin 15K heat pump that I just installed less than 6 months ago, where the squirrel cage, the blower wheel had come loose. Likely because the motor came loose too. I don't know which came first. Maybe rubbing caused it to vibrate and everything came loose, but I don't think those well nut screws would have come loose like that. I know nobody wants to hear a technician just always complain about how unfair life is, but this is just if you ever get a shop that does, you say no, it's under warranty and everything's going to be covered, and the shop seems very reluctant because they didn't sell you the coach. It's because warranty work really is a very frustrating experience in the RV industry. Extended warranty is different, but factory warranties from manufacturers and from component manufacturers, they put a lot of effort into making sure they don't pay you, and you have to do everything right or they make it miserable. So if they don't seem too excited about bringing a non-customer unit in for a warranty repair, there's probably a reason why. At any rate, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Well, so there it was. Clean up my big old mess up that I brought everything up here for. Dragging up an awful lot of tools just I can move a blower wheel just 1/8 of an inch and tighten up the other thing. But like I said, it's not the owner's fault that the manufacturer's AC had issues, so they shouldn't have to cover that cost. And trying to get $10 for this repair is just not worth my hassle. It's just going to be one of those things called cost of doing business, trying to make a customer happy. Alright, so there it is. Oh, I went too far back, now I'm hitting there, so I have to move it a little bit more.